Welcome to Conversations with Cherie, where we have real conversations with real people about real topics. Today I'm going to be talking about something passionate in my life, which is the beauty industry. We're going to be talking about the highs, the lows, the excitements of the beauty industry. And today I want to call the first segment Battle Beyond the Beauty. I'm going to welcome two guests with me today. One, Keaira Nye, a millennial, and JoAnne Nicole, a seasoned stylist. Hi. Hello. 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 How are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm so excited. I'm so excited about you two being here. Thank you first for taking time out of your busy schedule, both of you, to make time for me. I just felt like it was time for us to come to the front stage, because you are the people that everybody sees the good looks and the hair done, and they hardly see you guys. You might see them in passing, but we mostly see on Instagram and Facebook. We always see your styles, your designs, but you have a little conversations with your clients. But I want people to know a little bit about Keaira Nye and a little bit about JoAnne Nicole that they might think they know, but more so what you want to express about this industry. So beginning with who wants to talk first?
JoAnne.
Okay, JoAnne, we'll start with you. How did you get started doing in this industry? And when did you know that you wanted to become a beautician?
When I was 4.
My
great-grandmother made me stand on a box in her salon in Oxford, Vera Downs, and wash combs.
Oh, wow.
But I wanted to do hair, but she made me wash combs. So I dread that now, and I pay people to do that. But I just was always excited with she sold me with I wanted to know how she was doing the magic. She used to always move the chairs without her hands. She used her body the whole time, and it just was amazing to me. So it started with the chair.
That is funny. I never would have thought that would have been the answer, because it's like that's what I mean. You think you know, but you don't know, because there's something behind it. And how about you?
I think I would say just from growing up playing with the dolls and seeing my aunt and sissy doing hair in the kitchen, doing my hair, and then including you doing my mom's them hair and everybody. Like Miss Wanda, Earlene, them.
Right.
I'm just an observer, and I was just fascinated about how you can be so creative, doing hair, but mainly I would say just playing with those dolls.
I know,
and that's what really got me started.
That's funny, but that observant part, that was me, just observing and sitting and watching and seeing all of it was the creativity, I think, that caught me. And people like to think that Atlanta is the hair capital. I agree, they have a lot, but in my heart of all hearts, I've always said Baltimore had the best hairstyle. I've always said it, hands down. They sleep on Baltimore when it comes to hair. They are the originators. I feel Atlanta, they do over the top and do good stuff, but I still think it began in Baltimore. But this is not about me. This is about you guys, because this is a passion of mine that over years of doing hair and then later becoming an instructor. So my passion kind of shifted to wanting to help people. So I kind of wanted this segment just to be beneficial to those upcoming stylists, and so that they can understand the hard work and the determination pays off. You can get a dream. You can do what you want to do. If you put your heart and soul into it, it will come out for you. What do you love most about being a stylist?
For me, I like meeting new people. And also, sometimes you become like a therapist. So you you find out about a lot of personal things about people that don't leave your chair, where that's their time to vent sometimes, or even just their time for their just complete sanity, just to kind of relax. Absolutely. And but I think mainly
but I agree with that. I went to a conference once. He has a book, it's called a therapist, but he put cosmetologist in it. And it's so true, because you are like the therapist. You are the person that they trust things with you, because it's a comfort level that they have, and that's good when you have clients that can trust you. And you're right, you meet so many people, and it's like, wow, this, I thought I knew everybody, you know, you when you're in this small area anyway. But then as you go and the higher you go, you get to meet celebrity stylists. You get to actually know them on a different level.
The end result is what excites me. I like the action. Like, somebody could be having the worst day, the worst week, the worst year, and when they get out of your chair, the expression that they have and how they feel about what you've done for them is what really gets me. And being that I cater more towards hair issues and people who don't have hair, then that really, really amazes them that I can do something. I didn't have people run out of my chair crying, caught in the spirit.
Right.
Like, it's just that end result. Really, what does it for me.
That's another thing. And like, I have to say shout out. Oh no, not yet. So Wanda Adams, because she was the person that always let me know about healthy hair. And this was like in the 90s, when you wanted to fry your hair to the fullest capacity, and she would be the only person to be able to bring it back to life.
That was my savior too.
Right. And that's the thing. And it's like, I wanted this part to like discuss issues like that, because we have a time now where everything is about what the outside looks like, but nobody knows underneath how to maintain healthy hair, how to maintain, you know, healthy scalp, you know, so many other issues, and we overlook that. So that's why, you know, part of being seasoned is sometimes we have to go through those seasons of burning out your own hair, making your own self alopecia, you know, making a whole lot of mistakes. And then you had, like, you know, like I said, people like Wanda Adams that would be like the hair doctor, would bring you back, and now you don't have many people, because I still go to her. I need her to give me that clean cut, that if I shampoo my hair, it's gonna fall exactly into place, and I won't have to put a curl in it.
I spins around that corner too.
Right, absolutely. So it's like, it's more too, because it's one thing I wanted to address in this day and time. We have a thing where, you know, we like to call people of a certain age old women, you know, and then we like to call people old school when you've done hair for a long time, but you may not do what they're doing, but you do what you do well, and you do what your customers like as well. I don't discredit that. That's longevity. That took time, that took patience, that took a lot to go through and still be able, because it's not nice to hear that, because you're like, I think I do good.
I think,
you know, and I know, right, and absolutely, but you have to get to that place, because the first time it was like a sucker punch, like,
who are you talking to like that?
Right, and I'm like, do you not understand? So that's the thing I want people to understand. Don't misquote your words with that, because that seasoned or old school people, as we like to call them, will be those people that will teach you something that you didn't already know, or will guide you to a place of, oh, I really did, you know. And that's something else I wanted to talk about, was communication in this industry. The blessing of an instructor was I got to be in a room full of everything, and to see, and then to work around some of the best talented people, and to know, like, wow, you have to know how to be grounded. You have to be able to communicate, because when you're communicating with your customers, like you said, you could have the worst day ever. You know, you could be dealing with a battered woman, but you're doing her hair. So you can't pour that over top of her and have that negative talk. And so then you have the customers that you know how to cater to, and that's where the communication comes, where I want this generation to see, because as a millennial, so much respect you hear the older people talk about from you. They always say how they love Kiki. They say, not just because of how well she does my hair, but I love her personality. I love how she treats me. You know, and that's a key. I used to tell people, you know, your talents can take you somewhere, but how you treat people can take you further, because they'll love to get treated well, versus if I go and get a good hairstyle, how am I going to feel while I'm in that space? So, any comments to that?
I love Kiki. I want to talk about that.
Thank you.
I've been following Kiki a long time, and she is one of the millennials who don't care about the next millennial or the older one. She will reach out and you can reach back. And it's not always like that. But she has a humble heart and a humble spirit, and she's always willing to conversate and share, and I love that about her. But it's sad that it can't be like that all the way across the board, especially in our local area. Because if we were to come together, we could move mountains. We'll blow Atlanta off the map. But everybody's so busy wanting to be a boss, but nobody wants to do the work behind being the boss.
Right. And that's kind of where I wanted to go, you know, even in this segment, just of the connection, of reaching out, of, you know, restoring sisterhood. Because in this journey, it takes sisterhood. I don't care how good you are, and brotherhood, because there are men that are stylists as well. And if we communicate better and we open doors for others, doors will get open for us. It's not it's a team effort. It is. There are salons next door to each other in the cities, and they still operate. They still function well. They still get whatever is for them, you know. And we have a small town where it's one on each side of the town, and no one gets along. And I said, you know, I want to be able to bridge the gap, that from this point, maybe one day somebody will see this and say, I understand what they're saying. I do get that. And maybe it will cause, you know, a reaction of reaching out and being able to communicate and uplift and promote one another, and not feel like it has to be a competition all the time. What are your greatest strengths? Are you looking at my cheeks?
No, I'm not. I gotta remember.
Can't see now.
I think my greatest strengths are the passion that I have now for hair. I mean, when I was younger, I had a passion for it, but I don't feel like it was as strong. Because I didn't, you know, I was just like, oh, this is some quick extra money, you know. And I was one of those ones like, oh, I'll just do whatever to your hair. But now I'm to the point where it's like, if it's not healthy for your hair, then I don't, you know, I'm not going to recommend to do it. I mean, I done seen people get kind of upset, but I mean, I'm only looking out for me.
Your name.
Yeah, exactly, because I don't want your hair to be falling out on my account, you know. So, I mean,
that's key. Your pride. That you know, you take pride in your work, and to represent your name well, you know, because when something bad happens along with that nice hairstyle, your name is still going to be attached. So your strength is, you know, you have your passion.
I think that my strength will be maintaining healthy hair, the passion that I have for it, and the drive that I have for it, and the desire to continue my education, because it's always changing. Everything is always changing. And you know, it's certain things that you have to stick to, a bottom line. And the integrity of the hair, the type of products that you use, the continuing education, those are all bottom lines for me. All bottom lines.
What you just said is a mouthful, because I think once we get to a level as a stylist, we kind of throw out the continuing education. And I think that's crucial to any career, any whatever it is you do. But in hair, I feel like that's when you leave a conference, a hair show, you feel good, different. You feel refreshed. You like, yeah, I can. You know, you're ready to go and instantly change something about what you did in your own self, and be like, you know what, I may not be able to change them, but I can change me, and this will help impact the next person. So I do agree with continuing education. That is key.
It's a requirement now for Maryland, 6 hours.
Oh, great.
6 hours. Well, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, then that's what I was about to ask. My next question was, tell me about your education and what you specialize in the industry, and you kind of like knocked it out.
That's it. I dibble and daddle in it all.
Right.
And actually I leave Saturday for classes, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday in Virginia Beach.
And what's
I go
this?
every year. NES, yes.
Okay.
And I usually go every year. I didn't go last year, but for the past 8 years I've been going.
Right.
And it makes a big difference.
It does.
It makes a big difference.
It does.
And it's not just, I mean, it's classroom all day, but at the same time, if you have a passion for it and you love hair and you want to cater to your clients, you ain't gonna pay that no mind.
Right, because you're about being what's better for your clients.
Right.
Because your clients get excited when you go and you bring back something new, or you tell them, guess what I saw, and you begin to tell them, or you show them, look what I saw, and they're like, oh, try that on me. So now here goes a new sale. That's an upsell. And then you learn information about products. You know, product knowledge is very important. You know, I always tell people what you pay, you get what you pay for.
Right.
You know, if you buy over the counter shampoo and your hair is hard, well, you pay $5. So that's about what it's gonna cost you. You know, so you shouldn't feel disappointed when it didn't work. Right. Versus, if you had to pay $20 for a good shampoo, but you only needed a dime size, and you got the same lather, but yet your hair felt so much different. It's so worth it, because you don't have to use all that shampoo in 30 days, I promise you. But that Suave, you're going to have to keep using handfuls and handfuls, and of course you're going to keep going by because you used it all within like 7 days. Wow. What was the biggest risk you took in this industry? Or even to get in this industry?
I would guess I would say kind of stepping outside of my box. Because I'm so used to being in this box, you know, with the norm. Yeah, exactly. But I felt like once I got in the industry as a licensed cosmetologist, it was so many doors that opened up that I didn't know about. And it was just like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. You know, it was just like your mind just goes 100 miles per hour. Like, I want to do this, I want to do that. So, I feel like the risk I take is just basically stepping outside the box for me, personally.
At this point, since I'm the old one,
old school,
I think my risk was more in the beginning. I risked a lot of time away from my family.
Right.
And it's certain things that happen within the family makeup where you have to be there, and you realize after the fact that you missed it. You missed the mark. Because, and like my kids have told me, like I slowed down a little bit because they told me, you always worried about your clients. You don't even pay us no mind. They lying, but I doubt you couldn't tell me that. But I mean, that's how they felt. So then I had to, switch it up a little bit because I didn't want to lose them. Right. So to speak, I didn't want nobody else pouring into them what I should be doing. Right. So I think that would be my biggest risk. But they grown now, child.
Right. So now, you're free, and now you can, your schedule is open, and that's the key that for people to understand. It's a sacrifice.
It is.
It's a sacrifice to do. It's like a doctor in a nursing field or whatever. It's that time. Like the hospitals, they don't close, so people have to sacrifice time. And with the salon, we don't get scheduled breaks. You don't get a scheduled break. You don't, and you don't work, you don't get paid. So it's good to have things, look at AFLAC, look at those outside insurance things, because those things are going to benefit you when you can't work or if something happens. And, I'm so passionate about, because we have tons and tons of great stylists out there, tons of them, and it's just a place that I want to see it brought to a higher level. I want to see the professionalism and the etiquette brought back into the salon atmosphere so that people can excel to where they want to go and have the type of clients that they deserve. You do great work, but your clientele has to come up to that level to bring that greatness in the room, because we have to learn. What do you think about professionalism and etiquette in the beauty industry for 2018?
I guess because my full time is at the health department, so I kind of already know how you should treat people and how professional you should be. So it kind of already went along with me in the industry, but it goes back anyway. I was brought up, so I was always brought up to respect, people who respect you. So I'm going to take that in the industry with me. But as far as some of the professionalism nowadays, it kind of goes out the door a little bit. And I feel like we need to step it up as professionals, licensed cosmetologists. We need to step up that professionalism in this industry. Because it's very important. And some people kind of overlook at it, because I think it's more like, they're thinking like, oh, that's my homegirl. Like it's more like a homegirl setting. And it's not, but you still have to draw the line where you have to be professional and, put that personal
Absolutely. And that's another thing I was going to say, you know, people don't realize, I mean, most people that know you or know of you, they know that you are a social worker. But that to me was a sacrifice to be a full-time employee and still go to school. How was that journey?
Oh, Jesus, take the wheel.
I was going to say, you were a full-time worker, part-time worker, and in school.
Right. Exactly.
You were still doing hair and everything.
It was a lot because for the first 2 months, it started back in 2015. For the first 2 months, I went to Jessup every day. So I would get off, you know, work at 4, be to Jessup by 5, try to be there by 5:30. And then I had a little setback. And what happened is, I guess it was like, you know, the grace of God, Annapolis opened up the temple there in Paul Mitchell, opened up in Annapolis. So I ended up transferring there. So from 2015 until 2017, that's where I finished up at. But it was some days where I wanted to be like, all right, I can't do this. My body's tired. And my body was telling me a whole lot during that time that I really didn't want to believe or understand. You know, like, listen to your body. That's all I can say is listen to your body. When your body tells you to slow down, slow down.
Right.
You know, but I made it, and, you know, thanks to my family, my friends, a lot of them, I couldn't do it, you know, without them because of the encouragement. Like, you know, you're almost there, just do it, you know, because I've spent plenty of times I complain, like, you know, because the school is not perfect. You know, y'all know.
That's like another job.
Yes, exactly. So, you know, just the ups and downs in school period. But, you know, like I say, I stuck with it because I knew it was something I wanted to do, because it wasn't a day before I started school. Like, for that whole year, it was like I was thinking about hair all the time. When I'm thinking about hair more than what I went to college for, then I felt like I need to change the shift into my career. And that's what happened. And I didn't want to waste, you know, money knowing that this is something I'm beginning to be passionate about. So,
you have really, like literally what you said is something that I feel like I pray that the right people get to see this segment, because there are people that are right now in the midst of going through a journey of beauty school and feeling like, you know what, I can't. This is too hard. Because we've all that sit on this couch have said that. I can't do this. I don't want to do this anymore. You want to quit. You want to give up. But it pays when you push past yourself, because it's worth it. And when she said you think about doing hair more than your job, something that you went to school for also, you thought about hair more than that. So it was like, you know, and then that's for somebody that has something that they're passionate about, but they work a job 9 to 5, but they know that they're more passionate about something else. Maybe that's a sign for you to step out and try what it is you're passionate about, and the doors are open when you walk through them. You know, you have to make the first move. So I'm definitely thankful for you sharing that, because I think when I was an instructor, that was the biggest thing that I saw, was the highs and lows and the people wanting to quit. And as well as myself going through those things when I was a student, I had to be the person to, you know, try to tell them, please, you know, hang in here. It's going to get better. And sometimes things wasn't. But when they stood at that floor at the end of the ceremony and they actually finished, that's a feeling, you know, you can't pay for it. It's priceless, because that's something that you've longed for, and you're like, wow, if I had quit in the middle of this, I wouldn't have gotten to experience this.
I know that when I was in school, like a support system and a support team is definitely what you need. It's definitely, you know, I dibbled and dabbled with hair for a long time, and I was in the kitchen. I worked in Wilmington for almost 10 years without a license.
Right.
And then when I came back to Maryland, they weren't playing no games. Ma'am, you need to go get your license.
Right.
And so I ended up having to move with my dad to be able to afford it. And so that was a big support system.
Right.
My grandmother, my great-grandmother, she had passed away, but she was the one who got me started. So her daughter, in turn, made me, you need to go to school because this is under your belt. So I went, I got in school, and I had to go to Salisbury. By time January, I started in June. By time January came, I just was over it. I was starting to drive. I was having anxiety attacks. I was still dealing with the death of my mom and trying to get therapy for that. And it just was so much. But my daughter's father quit his job to drive me to school every day. So I was like, man, I need to get it together. If he's going to do that, then I need to get it together. Plus, he's messing up money.
Absolutely.
He's going back to work, bro. So I'm glad that I finished because I was doing hair all wrong.
Right.
I was tearing people's hair. I mean, I could cut my own hair and be fly. By the time I got to school, girl, I can't do it no more.
Right.
I can't
and
fool around.
That's
and
the
it teach
thing,
you.
right there.
That schooling is what gets you where you need to be.
It will unlearn what you think you
know.
And
to
it's
help
hard.
you.
It's hard to kind of like unregister
oh my
that
goodness,
kitchen
to
to the books. I'm telling you.
And I mean, I'm not knocking no kitchen beautician whatsoever.
Except
when I gotta clean up your mess. And then because there's so many opportunities out there that, like, it's either, if you go to the Department of Labor and License, it's so many people who are senior stylists who don't have no problem with training.
Right, absolutely.
And I mean, everybody hoop and holler about the money, but at the same time, it's gonna pay off in the end. I wanted a salon since I was 10. I didn't get it until I was 41 years old.
Right.
Don't stop the dream. Don't faith without works is dead. You have to put things in place, and you have to behind yourself, push yourself so that you can get where you want to be.
You said that's key. Like, you wanted it since you were a kid. You knew what you wanted.
And I did everything under the sun.
Right. And I'll get other jobs. I'll do this. I'll do that. I always wanted to be a teacher, really, as a kid. But I wanted to be a, play school, get your books kind of teacher. So when I didn't become a teacher, I fell in love with doing hair because we sat in Baltimore under the dryer forever. So I got to see all of this hair being done. And I was like, oh, I can do that. And I would go home and I would do it on myself. And then I said, oh, okay, I like this. But I had no idea that the teacher was still on the inside. But I just kind of did what I thought I was supposed to do. And it was like, okay. So then when the opportunity came to teach, I was like, wow. But boy, it was like the walls was closing in at first, because you're talking to people that could do hair under the they could take me down doing hair, and I'm like, but then you're trying to unlearn what's the process on the inside so that they can understand that there is a way. And it don't take all of that. It is, because what you learn, don't waste your $20,000 to $30,000. Please don't.
Jesus.
Please don't waste it. Absolutely. Because what you're doing is you're selling yourself short.
Yes.
You get taught professionalism and etiquette. Everything that you're going to do, you should use it to the benefit of what you have to pay back. Why not use it? Why not use it on your clients? Use your client consultations. Those things you don't hear about anymore. You don't hear of a client consultation. If a client tells you, that's, for instance, color, they're not going to tell you the truth. So then they come up with green hair. I wonder why. Because some truth wasn't told. But if you had a consultation card and they were actually part of a regular, customer of yours, you would have records to go back and show. So that's a part of professionalism that I just want to see the beauty industry so far, much farther than it is. Because, you have the big names and you see all that they do, but then you see their behavior. So then it's like, okay, well, if they do it and they make $1 million doing this and they act like this and they talk like this, well, that was just their stroke of however they got into it. That doesn't mean that that's the way it's going to fall for you. So I did this because I felt like it's so many other conversations that I'm going to have on this sofa, from politicians to moms that are entrepreneurs to book authors, like you name it. And I'm mostly focusing on women, because I want our girls to understand that there are so many positive role models in this town, in this little place, that we overlook. We overlook the positive moms that work hard, that really are directors of daycares, directors of departments at the Y. We have mothers that are on the move. And I want our younger girls to know that we can be anything we want to be. There is nothing wrong. I used to listen to rap and all, and that's this generation. That's what we do. But understand, everybody can't be Cardi B. And she made a future, and it has a future on broken English. No shade. That's her thing. But find your it. Just like she found her thing, find your thing. So I'm praying to bring something to this sofa that if a little girl flicks through the channel and she happens to see and recognize, oh, that's Miss Kiki, she does my hair. Oh, that's Miss JoAnne, she does my hair. What are they talking about? So then it may not be hair that they want to do, but it may be that conversation that we had to encourage them to go and do something that they may want to do. And the reason I called this the battle beyond the hair, the beauty, was because during this time, these women have went through some tragic things and yet overcame them and are still standing. We see the good side. We see the good. We see the money. You know, it's good in the beauty industry. It is. If I could still stand behind the chair, I don't love it. I love people. I love to talk to people. I love to pour into people. I love to empower and uplift. I found my voice. And so I pray that someone watching this will find their voice, if not through this segment, through the next segment of what it is. But if there was anything you could say to an upcoming stylist or even a stylist that's already in the industry right now, what would you say to them?
I think the biggest thing, everybody feels like they should be at in a certain position, or just, you know, like say for instance, like they should have kids by this age, they should be married by this age. You know, if you have a dream and if that's what, you know, you're determined to do, that's what's in your heart, that's what you feel, don't feel like you should have done it at 21.
Right.
I'm, you know, almost 35, and I feel like I just found my passion.
How did you get there?
You know, like, and I felt like I finally found my passion, you know, basically like almost 3 years ago.
Right.
Even though I went to school for social work, but I felt like that was the norm to do, go to college, you know. And then plus, I just was like, I don't want to do hair every day. I don't want to stand behind no chair. You know, I want the college experience. Got that, bam. But later on, I found out that that's not my passion. You know, I tried to make it my passion, but it's not. I mean, it still goes along with it.
Absolutely.
Because I'm still helping people, you know, and but you know, don't feel like there is an age limit or, you know, to following your dreams or feeling like you can't, you know, accomplish your dream. Because look at JoAnne, she went to salon at 10, but she didn't open her salon until 41, right? So, you know, right there, there's a prime good example. Like, you know, I might be that one at 41, you know, opening up my salon, but mainly just don't, you know, give up your dreams. You can have them at 80. Don't put timelines on your dreams or anything that you want to do. I feel like God has a plan for everybody, and, you know, you're going to hit some roadblocks. Because that's just what happened. Yeah, exactly. That's your testimony. That's your story to how you got where you at. But like I say, just don't give up on your dreams.
I would suggest don't let anyone dictate your dreams. I wanted to do hair, like I said, when I was 4. But my grandma said, you need to go to school. My dad said, you need to go to school. You need to be a teacher. You need to do this. You need to do that. Everybody had an idea for who JoAnne is supposed to be.
But JoAnne.
But JoAnne. I'm just following along with everybody else because you got to respect your elders because that's what you was taught. My dad want me to be a teacher. He is a principal. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm a daddy's girl. I'm going to school and I'm going to teach. But when I teach, I taught cosmetology. But then that got old. So I just would tell anybody, whatever your dream is, you put in the work to follow that dream and don't let anybody take it away from you. Period. Whatever it is, whoever get mad, that's on them. If you fall, pick it up and keep it moving. That's just a part of life.
That is some good stuff right there. Like both of you, that was some good stuff because it intertwines with, like, I was like the beauty school dropout. Like I thought it was a joke when it was on the movie back in the day, and I would be like, who does that, you know? Well,
in your defense, I think you got the role in because so many people said they was going to help you and they didn't. So, but you stayed encouraged and you kept it moving.
It worked itself out because I had since 19 I did hair, and eventually at like 36 I got it right. I completed. But by then, it shifted. My passion shifted. And I was like, what do I do? I did all of this. And I don't really like it now. I just do it because, hey, you did this after you wanted it so bad. And when it happened, I was like, oh, okay. And I'm going to go. So I went and I learned how to do other styles of hair, other all cultures. And so I said, okay. And I had one instructor that said, if you want to know, if she said, where I see you, she said, I no longer see you behind the chair. I see you in a classroom. She said, but you can't teach where you haven't walked. And I said, okay. Her name was Miss Hill. Awesome. And so I went and I worked at Supercuts, because I can't tell you something I don't know. And that put the last piece to the puzzle. But then it was later, like a year or so, I had applied at a school and they weren't hiring at the time. So maybe another year or so later, they called me and asked, was I still interested in teaching? I was like, sure. And the funny thing was, the date was the exact same, but it was a different year. It was like 9/17 of 13, but then it was 9/17 of the year that I started actually working. They showed me my application and I said, you've got to be kidding. So I knew, I was like, this was it for me. So it is like one of those things, don't give up, don't quit, because really what I thought was what I was supposed to do, because that's what everybody thought. You know, you do hair, Cherie does hair, and that wasn't it. It was not what I dreamed to do. But when I met those group of women that like took you from places on the inside of like, wow, how did she go through that? You know, I watched women lose things while they were in school, but they would show up. And I'm like, wow, you know, women. One woman lost her mom while she came to school the next day. I couldn't believe it. And, you know, one lady was losing her home and she came to school the next day, and they were teaching me, not realizing what I was teaching them, but they were teaching me to go through some things and be strong. And I guess that's where this segment is about, is strength. You know, women, real women empower women. Real women uplift women. So that's kind of my hashtag for this segment. Anytime that you're going to hear conversations with Cherie, it's always going to be about empowering, uplifting, and pouring in to the next woman, so that this generation, that disconnect that seems to be flowing, it will stop. That we'll have people connected to the right people that will say the right things at the right time, that won't misguide you, and that will tell you the truth about you, and will be able to say it with love. You know, because I feel like we've had brokenness, and in this industry, I had to start this segment off, the first one, to be about beauty, because that's what women we represent. We represent beauty. We love getting our hair done, our nails. We love nice clothes, and we love to look the part. But internally, there's something still missing, and it's going to take more than just the outer to fill that void, because it has to come from love that'll connect, that we'll be able to communicate better with one another, that we'll be able to pull together the stylists and actually host a successful hair show that I still always see happening in Easton, with the best stylists right in Easton, to be able to come together and to do this and not make it about mine or me or myself. I had you know, I'm always about quotes and stuff, and I saw a quote. It blew my mind before I came here today, and someone was talking, and she said, don't just want to inspire you, I want to empower you. And that's what I say about, you know, what I've come to do, no matter how many times I do this, the little or a lot, but each time I sit here, I want to be able to empower somebody to be their best selves. And you know, we always say it's not about what we can afford, because we'll say I can't afford, but I always say you can't afford not to be your best self. If you had said I can't afford to go to school and work and keep my bills paid, you would have never known what was going to be on the other side. If you said I can't afford to pay for a salon and still own a home and a vehicle, you would have never known what it would have been like. We'll miss it, you know. And I always say we don't want to miss it. And that's what I wanted this segment to be about too, that the upcoming stylists are those that are even in their places. You know, you have some stylists that are meant to be platform artists. Don't miss it. You know, don't miss your call to go to be a travel person that goes and actually maybe you'll be the one they call to go set up and do work on certain artist hair. you know, be someone's personal, because I used to think I wanted to be a personal stylist until kids came. Then I couldn't do that, you know, because I was like, maybe I'll just go and, you know, travel, and then I don't have to really like stay in one space, because I really wasn't sure about being rooted and grounded. I was, you know, I wanted to be here, I wanted to live there, I wanted to go, you know, and I didn't know. And that was the thing. I listened, I had to turn off the chatter, because me coming here, step out. Are you kidding me? I have to be like, I want to, because I do newsletters and I email them or hand them out, and it's called Woman of Purpose, and I need to like be more
active with that.
Yeah, yes. Active and consistent, because I have a break in it. And I said, you know what, but I want to be able to just talk about what I'm thinking about and what God lays on my heart that'll be beneficial to women and men in this journey, that they'll have something positive to turn on the TV to and not say, you know, it's always negative. My 9-year-old got me once because I'm a reality TV person, and I've turned some down. And she'll say, "Why do you watch that if they say bad things?" And I said, "Well, sometimes you learn from bad things. You learn what not to do.
Right.
So you can't always look at the bad things and make it, oh, it's awful. You have to." And this is one thing I've learned. This was my other quote that I found. And she said, the only person you are destined to become is the person that you decided to be. That blew me away. Yes. Again, I'm going to say it to the camera. The only person you are destined to become is the person you decided to be. That was amazing.
Yeah.
That was amazing, because I'm deciding to be who I'm destined to be now. You know, at 47, I'm saying it happily. It's over. I'm happy to say this at 47.
You're older than me.
Yes. No,
yes.
I'm not. Not yet. Not 47 yet. November. But I've decided, you know, I know who I'm destined to be. I know now, and I just want people to hear your voice when I bring you on the sofa. I want them to know a little bit more that they thought they knew, that they didn't really know. You know, it's okay to discuss your fears, because what you'll do is break that off of somebody else. The fear that you had of stepping out in something unfamiliar, that's a big deal.
I was scared to open my salon, but I was forced into it. The Lord was like, you don't got no choice now. I was working somewhere and the electric got turned off. And for 2 days, I was in there with a coat on. And I was like, I cannot wash my client's hair. Shampoo my client's hair in this cold room. And I just went on Craigslist, and it was right there. I mean, like, that was the first advertisement I saw.
That's amazing. But that's how he'll do it.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know, it's
you can
like
fight it all you want, but if he got it for you, he gonna give it to you.
It's for you. Like, I see amazing things, like, in your future. I see amazing things, because you're what I call the comeback kid. You know, I don't know if you want to share, but if you do a little of what you experience, you don't have to go deep. But I call you that, and I know, like, that should be your new hashtag, because you came back with a fight, like, that was amazing. And the people that watched it, they may not ever say it, but I had to say it publicly. Like, that was amazing. And I know that God allowed you to endure some things so that people can see she didn't give up. No, I don't want to. I'm just proud of you, and I just think you're amazing. So
thank you.
You know, I do.
I do too.
Thank you.
Yes, and I definitely, you know some of your stuff and some of the things that you experienced, and I was like, oh my God,
I'm coming up out of it.
I was like, I don't know, you know, and she kept showing up. Like, I mean, you got to show up for life.
I guess I'm naturally a fighter. Period. And I think that when I become under attack, the Lord gives me ways to fight without having to fight physically. And it'll take me a minute, and it'll mentally exhaust me. And I got a little lady, I go lay on a chair because she know I ain't right sometime when the trials come. And I mean, like, that's just a reality. everybody needs somebody to talk to. They don't have to be licensed, but everybody needs somebody that they can vent to, or you're gonna go crazy. And by me having clients that always vent to me, I can't vent to them.
Your outlet?
Yeah, and then a lot of times we take that stuff home. We praying for our clients. We fasting for our clients. We trying to make sure that they're okay. You know, and like you pulled every which way because you still have your family, but then you got these people that you're so concerned with. Because if it's not for my clients, it wouldn't be no me. My clients take care of me. They take care of my kids. They take care of everything that I have. So I have to show up. I can't be sick. I can't be stressed out. I mean, the day that the man who killed my mom wrote me a letter in my mother's handwriting 32 years after he killed her. I had to go to work. Period. I couldn't stay home. I couldn't be sad. I couldn't be upset. I couldn't be crying. And I was stressed out. All kinds of stuff was going on in my head. But I had 7 people on my book that day. What am I supposed to say?
You need a personal day.
Right. I can't. So I had to go to work. And I had to fight. And I mean, I'm still fighting.
Right.
I'm still, because that still had me in a place where I could just rip everybody's head off. Pop goes the weasel. Yeah. And then you go to the domestic violence, they're not doing nothing. You go to the warden, they're not doing nothing. You go to the attorney general, and then that's finally when you get something happen. But still, at the end of the day, it happened. You still have to process it. You still have to do it. I mean, I have days where I just want to be in the dark. I do not want to be bothered. I just want to be in the dark, but I can't.
Right.
Because that people depend on me.
What I mean, the battle beyond the beauty. Right. Sometimes, Jay-Z had a song, and that was my favorite song in the 90s. I don't remember which volumes for the Jay-Z fans. I don't.
They know.
Right.
You say right now,
but the
give them 2 lyrics.
Was called "You Only Know What You See. You Don't Know What It Takes to Be Me."
Right.
And I would just want to hear that hook over and over and over. And I just, and it's relevant for me now. Because we really thought it meant something, and life was almost carefree back when that CD was out. Life wasn't this hard, life wasn't that real, but in reality, you have to show up for whatever it is you want, whatever it is in life. If you don't show up, that's the thing I have with professionalism. You can't show up at the salon and your customer is outside in the car waiting for you.
Right.
To me, I don't get that. You're not late. You're beyond. I'm gonna lose money now. When the customer comes in, you don't start plugging up your stuff and saying, "Wait a minute, I have to get this." I'm like,
I broke myself up from that. I make sure I give them $10 if I'm late. I give them $10. I ain't giving up the whole bunch of $10.
That'll break you up. That'll break you up.
It's just certain things in our arena that you have to do to make amends.
And it's about professionalism, because you said key word.
Because I mean, things happen.
My clients take care of me.
Yeah.
So how I take care of them is how they're going to take care of you.
Yeah. And half the time, like now, they're like, "Oh, JoAnne, you ain't never late." Or like if I'm there, one client in, one client out. It's only like 2 people there for 15 minutes at the most.
Right.
So like if I'm running behind or running late, it's not too many of my clients that gripe about it because it's not a normal practice.
Right.
Me being late is not a normal practice. Me not showing up is not a normal practice. Now me telling me you can't have something because you're not taking care of your hair like I need you to, yeah, I'm known for that.
That's another thing that she touched on also. And we have to know how to set our atmosphere. Where your atmosphere has to be conducive to what you want to attack. You want it attached to you. You want the good clientele. I don't feel like you have to do 80 heads a day to say I was a good stylist. What'd you say?
Them days is over.
That's in the kitchen when you like trying to get yourself there. But if you have I know if any of my students ever catch this, they'll know I say it verbatim. If you want doctors and lawyers and people of prestige in your waiting area, you'll have to come up to their standards. You can't bring them to yours. They don't want to know about Bonquisha and them getting shot at the club last night. That's not an atmosphere conducive for people that work all day long and come and sit in the atmosphere where they're like, "Oh my God," or they're like, "When I leave, I know they're talking about me," or that shouldn't be. And I just want to be able to reach out. That stylist will raise the bar. Yeah, I know you're saying, who is she? She doesn't even do hair. But I have the credentials to get you where you need to go. And I can coach your salon to the highest level of professionalism that you would like it to be. Because I want nothing but success for an industry that I love.
I want our name to be back in the Dropbox. You know how when you fill out applications and stuff online and it says your career?
It doesn't.
It don't say stylist. It don't even say salon. Cosmetologist. Nothing. Yeah.
That's what we are. Other.
We need to be back in the Dropbox.
That is amazing. You are some amazing, like I know, you know, don't question, or what was Kiki and JoAnne so great about them? What was great about them was that God sent them to me. I had to pray about it. It wasn't something, I don't make decisions without, he's my CEO.
Amen.
So whatever he says goes. Because I felt like I needed something that would attach to, that would be able to give out truth and honesty and not arrogance, but just humbleness and thankfulness. And it's not about what you see, because right now they're standing in the gap for stylists to come together, for stylists to be on the same level, for stylists to have the same, who wants a Dropbox that says other? I still keep my license updated. I still get, you know, courses. I still do, because I want to be able, I tutor people that want to pass their theory test that can't. I tutor people that want to take tests, that want to do their senior test. I take time to tutor. So I don't want to feel like, oh, we're just other. When you look for our job description, it's just other. I still hold that title no matter. That's not who I am. It's just a part of me. So any last words, ladies, before we end this segment?
I appreciate you exposing our industry wide open. I had a nice time chatting with two of the girls that I love. I appreciate y'all and what you give back to the industry. And I'm just ready for us to move a little forward.
I'm excited about the journey, you know, that you know, I just see so much so much more for you, because don't let things that have happened even to you in this industry of where you know, of where you've been, you know, I call it, he calls it light affliction. That's what the Bible, he calls them light. So your light afflictions, don't let them shake what really is going to be the next opportunity for you, because it is bigger. Like, this industry is big. You can, like, yo, wow, people on social media, the people that hit like your stuff, they're not even here. So they're like, how come they're not, you know, much closer knit, and they live in such a small area? And we always have that cliche where people don't support us and we don't support. Well, why don't you support to find out who will follow? If you'll know when you step out, you'll know when you encourage somebody, you'll know. It just doesn't happen if you say it. Like, okay, for instance, you have a book title.
Freedom. Well, I've co-authored.
Yes. I'm sorry. Politically correct.
I've co-authored 100 Women, 100 Stories, and it was 100 women that got together and wrote a chapter about a woman who would not let them fail. And the book is phenomenal, because you would be surprised. Like, women really support each other. I mean, they might pick and choose who they want to support, but behind every woman is another one.
Right.
And that book is pretty much putting the icing on the cake, showing you how people have been there for each other, and not just through material things, but emotionally, physically. Right. I mean, some of the stuff that I've read is just amazing to me. And then my own personal book that's going to be out in October is called Freedom from the Fire. And that's the book about the man who killed my mom, who then started to try to attack and antagonize me and my sister. And because I'm free from that, I'm exposing that whole situation. I went from 0 to 100 and then back. I forgot I was saved and then realized I was. No. I mean, like, because it's just so, you know, different things are so emotional. Yeah, and I mean, and people scared. People don't understand. Scared to say that, you know, my flesh is strong, my spirit is mighty, but my flesh is strong. So I you know, you just have to deal with certain things, and I've found over the past 2 years that writing is a healing mechanism for me.
Yeah, I
Now,
found
if
that
you
in
super
my
save,
newsletters.
you super save, and you can
Uh-oh.
totally hold your flesh under subjection.
Uh-oh.
That's not the book you want to read. You just pass that on the shelf.
But that's what I had to learn with writing. That's what my newsletter. It just became of freedom. It was a release that like I've been journaling like after for years, and
it's gonna save somebody else too.
Right, and because it's so not about us. It's so not. It's about everything that we went through, every hard place or whatever. It is for the person behind us. Like the stuff that stylists go through, it really wasn't about us, even though it might have happened to us, but it wasn't for us. It was for us to be able, like now, have a discussion.
And to be
able to heal those that are, maybe on the verge of saying, you know what, they may be in a salon that is saying, they're saying, I don't want to be here anymore. I'm over this place, and and then sometimes we have to admit that we're wrong and give up the right to be right. We can't be right about everything. You're not the only one that knows how to do hair, and you're not the only one that knows how to do it like this, and and we have to be able to refer clients and say, that's it.
I mean, I just did when we were coming downstairs.
That's it. That's how you build in this industry, because it'll come back full circle. So as I close this session, I don't know if I have anything else, because these ladies have really pulled it all out of me, because I wanted to talk and touch this issue, but this was all that I wanted to do, was to open up the doors and begin to have conversations with local people. Like I said, we have authors. I'm going to interview authors of books locally, and I'm going to invite anybody that can fit on this sofa. We started off with 2 today, but look out for my upcoming next one, because honey, you're going to love every bit of it. You never know. You're watching, but you may be on the sofa. And I promise you, I'm coming for you. If you have purpose in your life, you bring positivity to your life, you bring anything that this generation is going to need. I'm going to interview people that have experienced things with, we're dealing with the opioid epidemic, where I know people that have a story, a fight back, that overcame some things, and they are prestige people right here in Easton. We don't always have to look on TV and look in the magazines for people to be positive or for someone to look up to. We have local celebrities. We have local positive people here. And what I'm coming to do is to bring the light right on them right here in Easton at the Avalon. So I thank you all for who took the time out in between of flicking through the channels to pause and say, oh, I know them. So I'm glad you did. I've enjoyed talking to these ladies, and you may see them again. Who knows what'll happen? But on this,
I'm in the background.
No, laying low. But I promise you, it is so much more with Conversations with Cherie, and just ride with me on this sofa. And I promise you, it's going to be worth the few minutes that you flick in. It'll be something that will touch your heart, empower you, inspire you to just be your best self. Because that's what this is about. Conversations with Cherie is just not about, talking about what's hot, what's, we will talk about that, latest fashions and all that, It's all across the board. But I come to inspire you right in your living room and encourage you and empower you. So you have a great evening, and come back and see us again.